How I got started mystery shopping. So when I first moved to Houston, Texas from my father's house, and that's in another video if you guys want to kind of know about my transition from the military from overseas back to the US. But when I was living in Houston in the Airbnb, you should already know that I was renting a room instead of a house. I was not renting an entire house. I was spending so much money on my social expenses. And so I define social expenses as entertainment, eating out, road trips within Texas, basically anything outside of my home. And I have a really large social budget because I work at home, but I still need to be able to feed some of my needs that I know are very important to me. Okay. So I was spending a lot of money. One evening, I was just talking to my Airbnb host, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to find a way to subsidize my social expenses. And getting another job is not an option. Like, it's not that bad for me. Like, it's not where I need to get another job. Like, I have it, but I like to use other people's money in whatever way that I can. Not in a malicious way, though. So she was like, hey, you should consider mystery shopping. And I heard about mystery shopping years ago, but I just never put action behind it. And you know, when you really want something, you're gonna put action behind it. So that very same night, actually, I think I went out and came back home, I started researching, and I had my very first shop that following Saturday at a large attraction in Houston, Texas. And that's really it, guys. I wanted a way to subsidize my life. That's also like a motto of mine, subsidizing life. And mystery shopping was a way that I'm doing that. So a lot of people ask, you know, how do you get paid with mystery shopping? Does it pay a lot? Does it pay well? You know, so this is, I characterize it into three different ways of compensation, right? So one way, or the first way, is just reimbursement. Let's just say the company, the MSC mystery shopping company needs me to go to, you know, a fast casual restaurant, and they'll give me the scenario and they'll say, hey, you have $30 reimbursement. Okay, it's on me to either keep my meal under $30 or know that if I go over $30, they're only going to give me $30 back. I have no problem with that because for me, I am offsetting my lifestyle, subsidizing my life. So I'm not looking for the max return. The second way you can get compensated is reimbursement plus a shop fee. So what that looks like is one of the ones that I do about every 3 weeks or so. That one pays up to $95 for dinner or $60 for lunch plus $20. So if that's going to be a lunch meal, that's $80, right? And so my mom, I'm like, okay, I have $80 to play with. But because of how I use mystery shopping, I really don't care. Like, if I want a good meal, that reimbursement and fee is just offsetting that meal, you know, subsidizing the cost. And the third way you can get compensated is just a fixed fee. You just get $10 for completing something, and typically those are more of your service calls, more of your inquiry calls. Very rarely would you be expected to buy something and not get reimbursed for it. Like, in the several months that I've been mystery shopping, I have not had that happen. Like, everything that I spend my money on, minus gas, wear and tear on my vehicle, things like that, they will pay for you. If it's in the scenario, they will pay for it. So that is how I get paid, or how I make money mystery shopping. So when we talk about getting paid with mystery shopping, I always like to ask people, okay, what is your goal for mystery shopping? I'm not going to say that you can get rich because I feel like rich is relative to your specific situation. But if you're going to use mystery shopping like I do just to offset my, you know, social expenses, or to just get out of the house because I do work remotely, then I highly encourage it. I do a lot of interesting shops, like major attractions in Houston, go-kart racing, fine dining, fast casual dining, hotel shops. Like, I freaking love it. Like, I can talk about mystery shopping all day long. But when I talk to people, I always tell them, or I always advise them to consider how they want to use mystery shopping. There are some convenience store shops. If you just want snacks, it's probably a good one for you. There are some fuel shops for gas. If you're someone where you maybe need those things, then I would, you know, steer you towards those. If you're trying to offset your basic expenses, I highly recommend mystery shopping for you as well. I've gotten grocery pickup shops. I've gotten home delivery alcoholic shops, where those are like ID integrity shops. I've gotten a lot that have contributed to my household, and that allows me to keep my money in my pocket, you know? So I don't know if I look at it as another stream of income. I mean, I guess it kind of is. I don't know. Anyway, but I tell people all the time, assess why you're wanting to do it, and then go to the companies that you know should be having those shops. Now, don't get me wrong, companies do lose accounts, gain accounts, swap accounts, whatever, and I'll go over that in another video. But kind of know why you're doing it, so that way maybe when your report gets kicked back one day, you're not as frustrated, right? My hotel shops, they do get kicked back because I am still learning, but it matters to me because I'm getting 4 or 5-star accommodations in exchange for a really detailed narrative, and the more you do it, the better you get. So if you don't take away anything else, if you want to get some mystery shopping, assess how you wish to use it, and then kind of build out your mystery shopping routes or a strategy from there. On the topic of advantages, disadvantages, pros, and cons of mystery shopping, the pro for me is getting out of the house, having food or groceries or anything else I was going to spend money on anyway covered. I've met so many amazing people on mystery shops, you know. Sometimes you have to do them solo. Sometimes I have to find a friend to take me. But I've just met very interesting folks, or I get to go to some of my favorite places for free. Which some people will say free is not right, but listen, I'm exchanging my time for their money in a meal in a place that I know that I want to be. But the downsides, right, or the disadvantages, the cons, I can accept that because the benefits greatly outweigh the cons. But one con is how long it takes to get paid. Sorry, that was my iPad. It does take about 40 to 60 days, 90, depending on some shops, depending on when you completed the shop, when you submitted the shop, and when you received an approved report, okay? I'm not going to sit here and give you hard time frames. It just depends on your MSC, your mystery shopping company, all right? So the amount that it takes, or the length of time that it takes to get paid, is a downside. Maybe how you write your reports can be a downside. I have had a report rejected, unfortunately, because I did not follow it. But for the most part, I work with schedulers and editors who do give me the opportunity to fix my reports. But I am marked down for those things because it tells you in the guidelines what they're looking for, what to expect. Sometimes they do give you samples, but those are some things. Those are some things that I'm working on as a mystery shopper myself, because I do want to keep expanding. I do want to do international shops. I do want to do shops in the Caribbean. I want to do more like the luxury shops, which I'm already starting to do those. But I am getting better in the way that I process my reports, the way when I do them, how I do them, just because I also have a flexible work schedule as well. So I also list some best practices. So if you know, and this is also what I kind of try to do now, because I have a lot of MSCs that are on PST, Pacific Standard Time. And so I know that if I start my shop early and something's already gone amiss in the shop, I have time to email them and say, hey, XYZ, this is happening, but this is what the scenario says. What do I do? And I always say or ask, what do I do without drawing attention to myself and without being an aggressive patron? I never want to out myself. And then I found that some of the shops that I go on, I'm typically the one of my only kind. And so I make it a point not to draw attention to myself. So for example, I had a shop recently where I was supposed to say at the bar. It says in the bar, I always do this one, at the bar. Well, it just so happened that this particular day, and the shop also does not say you need to call in ahead. They had a 100-person party, which meant that the upstairs was blocked off where I normally complete my shop. The bar downstairs was packed because it was happy hour, and it's in a corporate area. It was just packed. It was just packed. And then I couldn't sit inside because those were all reserved at the tabletop. So I had to sit outside. So while I'm there, I'm just discreetly emailing my scheduler and telling him the situation. I checked back with the service to see if there was any space. There was no space. And he said, hey, I approve basically for you to do this shop in this manner. Go ahead and go forward. But by that time, I was kind of irritated, and I decided to have my shop pushed to a later date. We have that relationship like that, to where they know that I can do it. And if I can't, I will tell them that I can't. But I love that shop so much, I will keep doing it until I can't anymore, or until I'm tired of dining at this particular restaurant. But the service is good, the food's good. I really like it. But just communicate with your schedulers. If you don't, then that's when things can go bad. That's when you can, cause your report to be invalid. I have had an invalidated report one time, but that was because of a mix-up very early in my mystery shopping days. So that is all I have for pros and cons. And if you guys have any questions, please comment. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, share. I really like mystery shopping. I think it has opened my eyes up to a lot of other things. So yeah, guys, I hope you found this information useful.